going to be. He will be asking questions after our first 2 rounds, and his name is Sagar. So now we will be doing a coin flip to see who goes first. Someone call it. Heads.
Tails.
Tails. So, okay. So affirmative will be starting. This will be a 1-minute statement. Point. And you will go now. Start. Okay, affirmative action, why we should have it. It's very useful. It brings diversity to many areas where there isn't diversity. It allows people to experience new, not even races, cultures, ways of life that they wouldn't normally, let's say, in their local area. It motivates people to try harder, and if they think like, oh, I'm in this type of area, then they think, oh, I can only stay in this type of area. And affirmative action, it motivates them to do better because they have a belief that they can better themselves and go to new places that they wouldn't normally be used to. It's used a lot in colleges, and it's used a lot in the employment field, and since it has been employed, it has done a lot. There's a lot more equality for everyone in gender, race, everything. All right. Okay. So we will be expecting a direct rebuttal from Kevin. And this will be only 30 seconds.
Okay, affirmative action, first of all, is very discriminatory. Okay? First of all, if you are one of those people who benefit from it, I think it should be insulting for you. Okay? What they're telling you is that you're not smart enough. Okay? We gotta make it easier for you. Okay? So let's make the rules, let's make special ed rules for you guys, because you know, you guys can't make
Stop
it.
time. Can you please respond to Amanda's point of diversity? Diversity. Sorry. Diversity.
Diversity has nothing to do with education. It's not necessary for equal opportunity. What was I saying?
Diversity has nothing to do with education. That's good. Make one more statement. Okay, time. Please respond to Kevin's statement that diversity has nothing to do with education.
Okay, I would gladly argue that point. Sorry?
Yes, start.
My opponent says that diversity has nothing to do with education. I would like to tell you, if you go to college to get employment, am I right? In employment, are you working with all white, all Asian, or all black colleagues? I think not. Diversity is the teaching of eliminating stereotypes. And I believe that that is not only an educational standpoint, that is a life lesson that you need to know. So to sit here and say that diversity has nothing to do with education, you have not only insulted me, but you have insulted white people. Because now with the influx of Hispanic and black population, you are the minority. So affirmative action in the near future will be for whites.
Wow.
That's right!
Alright, so Jarret will have the opportunity to make a statement now for 1 minute. Yes, any statement.
Alright, so it's not to do with that, so we're good, because Kevin totally destroyed all chances with what he said. But I'd like to bring up a counter-argument for some of the things that they would say. They say that it equals the playing field, that affirmative action allows those who are less fortunate to have the same opportunities as those who go to the private schools and are white or whatever, right? But do 2 wrongs really make a right? We've learned that many times that it doesn't. And like Hammurabi said, an eye for an eye, does that right now? That was 1750 BC. I mean, should we be doing that now? Like, that's reverting back to the cavemen. This is an atrocity. To think that we should be equaling the playing field by just discriminating and going against the principles of our nation that say equality. This is not equality. this is saying that one person deserves a better chance because they are not equal. Thank you.
Now, Alyia will be saying a rebuttal to Jarret for 30 seconds.
Leveling the playing field is equality. I would like to use the example, if a man had a 4.2 GPA and he was convicted on trumped up charges and spent 4 years in jail next to his other opponent who also has a 4.2 GPA who does not have a jail record. Should they be on the same playing field for employment? They will not be, because he is seen as a criminal. That is the same exact thing for affirmative action. If prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, then racism and discrimination are the oldest viewpoints of the world. We need to get over that. And to get over that, we do need to equal the playing field. I'm not saying we need a handout, but I sure as hell believe we need a foot in the door.
Now Kevin will be saying a response, rejoinder, to Alyia.
You said equaling the playing field is very necessary. Well, by equaling the playing field, you're also hurting races that had nothing to do with, like, making harm for no good reason, okay? You're digging a hole for them and just giving a pedestal for the people who need help. Affirmative action, it's just an old cause. It's not going to work now. Right now, we already see blacks, we see Hispanics. The mayor of the city is Hispanic. The attorney general of the state is black. Our president turns out to be black as well. So there's no playing field that really is equal now. It's been 50 years now for affirmative action. It's pretty equal now.
Thank you. We will be starting the questioning portion of this debate with Sagar.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so the first question is going to be towards Jarret. So, affirmative action is a federal agenda initiated in the 1960s that's designed to counteract historic discrimination faced by ethnic minorities, women, and other underrepresented groups, to foster diversity and compensate for the ways such groups have historically been excluded. Institutions with affirmative action programs prioritize the inclusion of minority groups in the employment, education, government sectors, and among others. In layman's terms, affirmative action is intended to level the playing field for minorities. Now, what is affirmative action in your point of view?
What is affirmative action in my point of view? I think we've kind of already addressed that. We've explained that we think it's a way of leveling the playing field, but it is unfair now. And now it's, like Kevin said previously, it's been happening for 50 years. So let me give you an analogy. So there's an endangered species. So that's the minorities in this case. But say there's an endangered species like a condor or something, right? So it's going extinct. We gotta help it out, right? So we're evening the playing field, allowing it to come back. We take it into captivity, breed it, and it comes back, right? But do we keep those restrictions on to keep it, and now it's harming other species because now it's rampant and throughout all the habitats? No, we have to pull the strings and stop breeding it in captivity. So what we're doing with this affirmative action for continued years is, like Kevin said, we're raising the minorities to a pedestal and digging a hole for those who are traditionally thought to be better. So for people like me, and I'm white as you can see, we are now dug into this hole because we're supposed to be smarter, or we're raised differently, or stuff like that. So it doesn't make any sense. Okay, thank you.
You guys will get the second question. Does affirmative action justly compensate for past racial discrimination towards minorities?
Affirmative action doesn't completely compensate for it, but it can help lessen some of the pain and the problems that we have caused in the past. I mean, you can't say, oh, I'm sorry for enslaving you, here, get a free ride to college. I mean, that's not right, but you can, by the years that we've done these oppressions to these people, they have ingrained in their minds that they, even though there's not discrimination anymore, I mean, it's still there. They have it ingrained in their minds as a stereotype that they're not as good, they're seen as worse or evil or, things that shouldn't even be thought. And by giving them a chance to change their point of view and change their thought, they can go to a new institution, a college that they wouldn't think they would go to, and they can open up their mind to a different learning environment and break past the barrier, the stereotype that's already there. That's the point.
So this question will be towards Kevin. Okay, how is affirmative action present in the U.S. right now, and why should it be abolished, completely abolished? How is it used?
Okay, well, I guess we don't know. Affirmative action is being used to, I guess, equal the playing field. Okay, let the minorities that need help, give them a little, like a free ride to the top, or not necessarily top, but like an easier ride. And then what that's doing is you're hurting the races that did nothing wrong, like the Asians. A lot of Asians, they just came here from other countries after the war or like the poverty. They came with nothing as well. And now suddenly down there, they're going to be a victim because they are one of the reasons why we need this affirmative action. So by putting affirmative action, by helping the minorities, you're also harming minorities that had nothing to do with it, okay?
That's fine. Thank you. No, you guys really did the question.
No, I'm sorry, I have to say that. So what my opponent is saying is that Asians aren't minorities?
Okay, next question.
Next question.
That's a good question. No, I would like to say on that.
Go.
What are minorities? Blacks? Is that what you're saying? Blacks and Hispanics are minorities. What are Asians?
Does the admittance of students into Does the admittance into universities and colleges through affirmative action contradict the notion of meritocracy?
Meritocracy.
Please restate that once more.
Does the admittance of students into universities and colleges through affirmative action contradict the notion of meritocracy?
I do not believe that, for the simple fact is affirmative action, which my opponent fails to see, is not a free ride. Affirmative action can only get you there. Affirmative action's main point is for the necessity of diversity. We need diversity. That is what America is. So I don't think that is against that. I think it is flourishing that. And to say that that is an issue is just wrong.
And because Alyia took it upon herself to respond to the last question, I will give Jarret the opportunity to make a response.
I'm sorry, but I completely forgot what you said.
You said that Asians are being, that's reverse racism for Asians because Asians are not minorities. That is what you said.
All right, so let's get a few facts here. The most rejected applicant is white females. So you have females as being a minority, and they need a help up in this affirmative action. That was one of the things they listed. It helps females, African Americans, Hispanics, all these other groups. So by rejecting more females, that I don't see how that's right. But as my partner said, Asians are a minority, majority. I don't know what that makes a difference, but the basis of affirmative action, as Sagar said, was because of historical actions early.
See, you cannot use that because colleges, there's a higher ratio of women than men. So that they're already out of the affirmative action. So just because
Exactly. So there's a higher ratio of women. So
in general.
more women should get rejected. There's a higher
There is not a more rejected because they're already
There's
there.
a
So
higher
how are they
ratio
becoming
of
rejected?
men. There's a higher ratio of white people. So no, we should just keep getting more rejected because more minorities are there.
More minorities are there. No, because you're already there. In every
I'm
college,
already there.
you can see it on College Board.
I got
You
rejected
can
from
see it
every
on
Ivy
news.
League.
The highest population
Because
in every
I'm
college
white.
that you've ever been to is a white majority. So you can say what you want. It's a white majority regardless.
Thank you. Let's make a concluding statement. Let's start with the affirmative. Amanda, please make a concluding statement.
Affirmative action, when used properly, not what they were saying, giving people free rides, it's just to give them a fair chance. It is helpful. It has, since it has been employed, there is diversity in colleges. I'd hate to think what would happen if there wasn't affirmative action. sure, maybe there's less discrimination now, but there's still areas in the world where they have segregated schools. I mean, you need diversity so you can learn other people's cultures and other people's beliefs. So it's not used to make people feel that they're worse, it's to help better them.
Okay, Kevin, closing statement, please.
To me, it sounds like you're making it sound like the minorities can't make it to the top. You're making it sound like we have to. They need the help because there's no way in hell they're gonna go from the bottom and go back to the top. We need affirmative action. Okay, there's no way they could go back up. What I'm saying is that I think they could go back up. Okay, by just giving them a handicap and they keep giving like, okay, you know what? You're just giving this walker, like, help them go back up. You're not helping them. You're not helping them come back to a more stable state. Just like his condor, my partner's condor analogy. By just you're not helping them like become back to their natural state that they could be in. Okay, if we keep affirmative action, we're gonna be stuck in they're gonna be stuck needing help for like I don't know how much longer. It's only been 50 years.
Okay, thank you.
Natural state is slavery.
We're done. All right, thank you.
That was our concluding statement.
So, Miss Moore, are you supposed to be judging?
No, I'm just here.
Just here? Okay, so then why don't we get a vote from the audience? Okay, affirmative. Negative. Okay, so we have extra credit slips right here. So if you guys can come to the door.
Jarret wins!